I guess I just start. It doesn't matter. All right, welcome back to the Counterculture Podcast. We're doing something a little bit different today, but I'm joined as always by my co-host Taylor. We're gonna get into our first reaction video, and if you've been on YouTube for any length of time, reaction videos is where everybody goes to when you have no ideas of your own. No, I'm not gonna project that on other people, but. We want to just give this a shot, do some little different type of content.
We're just trying to have fun.
Yeah, that's really what it is. We're trying to have fun, trying to mix it up, and just we'll see how it goes. Maybe this is good, maybe it's not. What you can do is, if you do like this, obviously, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, right? Leave a comment. And also, right, if this starts getting popular, maybe we can have people send us videos to react to, and then we can, do that, all that kind of stuff, right? So, we're just going to let it go. Oh, and also you can find us, at the Counterculture Cast on Instagram, and then you can, find our other social medias there. So we're going to go through a compilation today of woke TikTokers, right? Which really is...
Oh, yeah, don't forget our merch.
Oh, yeah,
I
don't forget
think
the merch.
Cool stuff.
Yes, don't forget the merch. And so, yeah, we're going to go through woke TikToks, and, I mean, you don't have to go very far to find them. And so we did not...
If your algorithm's anything like mine or yours, I'm sure you've seen probably a few of these clips.
Yeah.
I know you proofed this a little bit, but I'm going in raw, so this should be pretty good reaction.
Well,
unless I've seen it before because I live on TikTok. So
that's true. And if you know Taylor, he only goes raw, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. So, man, we're already off the rails. So yeah.
My father watches this.
Yeah, well.
And your mom.
Anyway, so...
Food for thought.
So we're gonna jump right on into them. I've seen a little bit of like the first one, but I haven't seen much. So we're both going in kind of blind.
Okay.
So we'll see how this goes.
All right.
So we're gonna go in.
What are we looking at?
All right.
Already?
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we're getting into with this first one.
You ready?
Yeah, I think so.
He doesn't like Dr. Seuss. She says he's a bad guy. Yeah, well, Dr. Seuss was mean to a lot of people. Why? Well, sometimes people are mean to others without reason when they're different than them. It's not very nice, and it's not okay. Who was Dr. Seuss mean to? He was mean to people who looked different to him and people who believed different things than he did. Oh, so he was racist like Donald Trump. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. If you have a preschooler, because she's saying this is a conversation with a preschooler, you don't talk like that, especially at the end. Like, they're not going to connect, oh, he was mean to people who weren't like him, to, he's racist.
Well, it's all brain.
Preschoolers don't talk like that.
Yeah, you're just like,
So
it's
my
like
point
brainwashing,
is, it's not even that. She's lying. This conversation didn't happen.
It's very biased. It's going against, I don't know. It's obviously one person's opinion, and hopefully there's not educators actually out there doing this. But Dr. Seuss, like the main thing they were talking about, his whole thing was making up creatures and people and who's and Loraxes and one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. It was about being inclusive. It was about everybody.
Yeah, I mean...
So how can you say I don't get it?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he had, whatever, biases, whatever, that were probably pretty normal for the time. But, I mean...
I can't... When the whole Dr. Seuss thing was trying to get canceled, what was her main reason? Do you remember?
I don't even remember. That's how dumb it was. I can't remember.
They were trying to cancel him for something, and I can't remember, honestly, what. Obviously, it wasn't that important. It didn't stick.
I mean, maybe he had said something racist or something like that.
But it wasn't anything in his books, was it?
No, it was like something I think he said maybe personally or something. Because, again, I don't even remember what that was about.
It was like a year or two, I feel like, ago. But I know it wasn't every book, apparently. I know they were trying to do one big ban or boycott against him, but I know it was like certain books that they were only pulling. So I don't know. I'd be curious to kind of go back. But
it was probably a psyop because then you got to a point where on Amazon certain books. Oh no, it was one of them. One of the books was had like Asian people that it depicted. That's what it was.
Oh, well, they kind of looked Asian. Is that what it was?
Because and they were yellow,
portrayed as yellow with squinty eyes.
But people are that's what it was. So yeah, it was. And when you try to buy that particular book, I can't remember which one it was.
I mean, they took them off like Amazon and everything.
Yeah. Well, no, it was like because you know how like Amazon is like supply and demand. Like the book was going for like $1,000. It's like
yes,
I'm not buying
I do remember that though.
Yeah,
we were joking about that. I think you can start to get things back now. I think it's back to normal.
Yeah. So it's just dumb. I have nothing to say. I have to say is that girl's a liar, dumb. And if she is your preschool, if she happens to be your child's preschool teacher, you should probably get them out of that school, out of that classroom, because that girl's a psychopath. That's all I have to say about that.
Amen. Vet your teachers. I don't know.
Yes, you should vet your teachers.
Hey, speaking of teachers, do you see how, what was it? There was one mom, I think she was up in, can't remember the state, so don't quote me. I was seeing it today, though. She was asking her teacher for the curriculum, and they were like, oh, you have to go to the board for that. And then, so she was writing to the board, but she was writing formal letters asking for the curriculum and asking certain questions. There was like 100 questions that were submitted because it has to go like written that way, that the board then tried to sue her at the school board because she was harassing and doing all this. It's like, that's the only way. This is the way you want me to go through the channel to find and ask these questions to look out for our kids. So yeah,
public school is just so stupid.
Yeah. So you ready?
Yep.
What do we have next?
I don't know.
So this comment was put on a video that had absolutely nothing to do with politics, but let's dive in because teaching is political. The education system, the curriculum, school zoning, funding, standardized testing, all of these things can create and further lead to class and racial inequalities and impact life chances for our students. Especially as a history teacher, my students deserve somebody who is going to confront and challenge the injustices and untruths that are in our history that have led to discrimination. So yes, teaching is political because as we develop curriculum and have conversations with our students, equity and anti-racism need to be in the forefronts of our minds.
Here, pause it real quick. Pause real quick. Oh my God. This is
Can't
why.
you just teach history as it happened?
Liberal white women are the worst people on the planet.
Just teach it as it happened.
Because they feel like they have internalized this idea that they are inherently privileged. So therefore, they have to go throughout their life like righting that wrong of being born white. Because and you know what's funny? I have to imagine this girl this woman who's a teacher probably grew up with two parents, right, in a middle to upper middle class lifestyle in a blue state and went to like a private college.
So she was privileged, yeah.
Yes. And so she feels guilty about that. So therefore she has to admonish herself of her guilt. But but here's the other thing. Like, she's saying the point which, again, I think people need to understand to a certain extent. Like, they do view everything as a political. Everything from what they do, right? At her as a educator or a teacher to your sexuality, everything is political. It's politically motivated, right? To some sort of end, and right. It goes to like the old saying, like when someone tells you who they are, you should believe them, right? You should believe this woman when she's telling you she's a psychopath. I mean, I'm projecting.
I don't judge a book by its cover, but if I walked into my kid's classroom and I saw that, this kind of brings us back to our last video. When with Phil was on the panel,
yeah.
And yeah, no way I would judge hard, and it's sad, but I mean, like, you're that expressive, like with your hair and everything. I mean, obviously your priority is not going to be in educating our kids.
Well, it's not going to be educating on whatever subject you're supposed to be. But here's the thing: it's not. If I walked in, it wouldn't even be the pink hair that initially would get me to be like, yeah, no way. It would be I guarantee this lady has a Black Lives Matter poster in her classroom. I would see that and be like, yep, for those reasons, I'm out. Right? Like Shark Tank. I'm done. Keep going.
It's giving our kids the means to gather factual information and form their own opinion. But this is wildly different.
Form their own opinion, but you're the one cherry picking history and putting your opinion on it.
And she's already saying like that we must talk about anti-racism and inequality. Well,
but you want them to form their own opinion. So just teach history as it happened, and they'll learn and feel about and make their own opinions about, oh, this was an atrocity. This is a black mark in American history, or let them form their own opinion.
Right.
That would be letting them form.
That would, but then also no one would come to the conclusion in where we are, especially now, that chattel slavery, right, like we had in the United States, was a good thing.
Well,
right?
I went through school and that was already, I mean, we learned about Jim Crow and prohibition and like prohibition, but like segregation, like all of that.
We did learn about prohibition.
That too. But like, you see my point? Like we learned, we had to watch the old black and white videos where people were getting fire hose. It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
As a Christian growing up, we already had a moral compass. So there's a part of you that already knows that was wrong. I mean, you don't need teacher to be like pausing the video and be like, all right, now boys and girls, why is this bad? And like, people just know it's common sense.
Right. It was inherently, because again, it goes back to this understanding where, like you said, if you have a Christian foundation, if we're each made in the image of God, right, then that means no matter what skin color, whatever, right, that person deserves to have the dignity and respect, right, equally, right, among every person, right? I mean, that's just, or among, in society. So
you can just teach the curriculum, the course as it happened, teach history as it happened. You don't have to go over the top and make it more of a CRT kind of thing.
Right. But of course she can't help herself.
Than indoctrination or propaganda, because I'm not trying to sway my students' opinions. I want them to form their own educated opinions.
Her voice.
What I'm doing is challenging a broken system and hopefully laying the groundwork for progress and justice.
Right. And what's also funny about that is just like, again, with her saying, I'm just allowing them to come to their own conclusion. No, you're not. If you're inherently, your focus is talking about anti-racism and equity, absolutely not. Because if someone comes to you and says, that if we're going to be treated, equality means, that everyone has the same opportunity, not the same outcome, she will tell you that is immoral based on her value system. So she's a liar, right? Any of her students that told her that, she would berate them, right? Because they berate adults and people online or in person for thinking that, right? So she's a liar.
She likes to hide behind her screen
Again,
too.
Another teacher who's a liar.
Well, this is 3 for 3 so far, and I'm like, they must all shop at the same place. So.
Yeah.
Last night of summer camp, and we had our award ceremony tonight, and I got misgendered when they presented my award.
Oh, no.
And I know they didn't do it on purpose, but that doesn't make it hurt any less. I ended up going in the bathroom and crying. And everyone's like, oh, she didn't do it on purpose. She didn't do it on purpose, but that means that I've been here for 2 months, and still, their subconscious still thinks of me as a girl, and that's really hard.
So I don't know.
That's because you are a girl.
Honestly, like, Jordan Peterson goes to one extreme, he's like, I'm not going to use it. But like, honestly, like if you're going to be like wearing those emotions on your sleeve, like you were presented an award, you've been somewhere for 2 months and you already got recognized. Maybe it was a participation trophy. I don't know.
Probably.
But you got it recognized. One person slipped up. So what? I mean, get it tattooed on your forehead if it's that important to you so nobody messes it up.
My pronouns are he, him.
But honestly, what if you assumed, what if you saw that person and you assumed that they were a man or that they wanted to be called that, but really it was just a fun, kooky girl. And she's like, no, I'm a girl. Like, you can misgender both ways.
It's just, and that's what it's all very,
right.
And again, it gives you a level of self-importance. And when, again, you look at, 3 for 3, and actually it'll be 4 for 4. These are all white women. And here's the thing, right? And again, I laugh and talk about this because it's very clear that your average white woman in the United States, who, especially if certainly if they lean more left, have a serious issue with white guilt, and they feel like they must figure out a way to get on the victim hierarchy. And the only way for them to do that is to start doing these things to themselves, because there's no other way to victimize or to
just get a goddamn
to partake in the victim hierarchy that has become so prevalent in the United States. The easiest way to do that right now is boom, just say you're transgender, right? You start doing these things, you cut your hair, you do this, you do that, you're immediately elevated on this victim hierarchy, right? And it puts you in positions of power, right? I mean, just look at Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney was a nobody, like, Broadway actor, right? a year ago, and now he's one of the most infamous or famous, well-known people in the United States, and has probably made like millions of dollars in the last year.
And people thought you got money off of like being a chick doing foot pics on like OnlyFans, but really, it's the dudes. We have a niche too, and it's
dudes being women, and we're the best women.
But what if it's like we just like hot chicken or like Chuck and Larry, and you just fake it for just enough time that you can cash out. You know, like your close family and friends.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if there's a point where Dylan is going to all of a sudden disappear out of the limelight because the person that Dylan Mulvaney has
think of it like a mask, like a character. Yeah, I don't know. And then you got to think, how dare you, even think like that? That's going against the agenda. I bet you people are. Some people out there are using this movement to monetize themselves.
Oh, absolutely. Just like some are using it to fulfill their sexual perversions.
Right. Well, he's already a Broadway actor. I didn't even know that, but you just brought that point up. Just because you're dressing up in your makeup and you're putting on this show, this ruse, we don't know your sexuality. We don't know what you're doing behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. It could all just be like Jim Carrey behind a camera, but you're doing it for the world to see. Mm-hmm. And you get that payday. You get
right.
Advertisements, your viewership goes up. You get a whole new fan base because right now that's what's trending.
You're the face of Bud Light.
God. Did you like that American commercial?
Now, take a moment for today's video sponsor. No, I'm kidding. Although I'm not a huge beer fan, but if you're looking for a beer that doesn't suck, Montucky, a cold snack out of Montana.
It's the unofficial beer of Montana.
That's right. 12 ounces of refreshment.
Oh, the other cool thing is they give 8% back to local causes.
Yeah. So, hashtag not a sponsor, but hey, if you happen to work for Montucky, you could sponsor us all day long.
Yeah, this is like a good natty, because it's you get 30 beers for like $24.
That's a steal.
And they don't take.
They should sponsor us. We were advertising for free for them.
There you go.
Anyway, let's go on to the next one. This is
considered an unpopular opinion, but if you have a daughter, you need to stop calling her princess. If you do.
I saw this one.
The way that Disney has branded the princess is based on her beauty as her most important asset. This term also encourages the damsel in distress.
So hold on, pause real quick. That's incorrect, right? It's not just that the princesses in the most famous, whether it's Ariel or Cinderella, it's not these other. It's not just that she's beautiful, right? Because a lot of times the evil witch, whatever, is also this. Think about Snow White. Who
That's not always like queen. Ursula was not pretty.
Sure, but then you have like in Snow White, the evil queen, right, is a mega narcissist, right, who goes to this magic mirror to say who is the fairest one of all, right, and it's not until Snow White is said to be that she has a problem, and then she tries to kill her, right? But it's not just the character of Snow White. It's not just that she's beautiful, right? It's that she's caring. He's all these other attributes, right? And that's with any of them, right? These Disney, princesses, right? And so they're always not only just beautiful, they're always intelligent. They're usually higher value than just that, right? So this woman doesn't even know what she's talking about. She's dumb.
Yeah, they bring a lot to the table, like birthing hips and everything else. No, but like low-key, Snow White could talk to animals.
That is true. She could also talk to animals.
That's like a Dr. Dolittle talent right there. Nobody addresses it.
That's true. You know what? That's a good point.
Exactly. More than just looks. So yeah. And to be honest, I wasn't very attracted to Snow White. She's kind of had that puffy face. I don't know.
I was a big
opinions
big Cinderella guy.
Big
Cinderella guy.
Yeah, I was about to say Cinderella.
Yeah, Cinderella. Good stuff.
Anyways.
By a man, and it doesn't focus on their intelligence or integrity
or
any other character trait.
That's a lie.
Why don't we call girls scientist, engineer, doctor? Why does it have to be something cutesy like, oh, princess, what do you need? No.
So when I'm talking to Lila, I'll be like, oh, my little scientist, what do you need right now?
Oh my gosh. No, okay. It's princess because that's what they associate with at that time. Kids are growing up. They're watching Disney movies. Ideally, if you don't want that in your house, then don't present it. But then you're not going to be calling them princess either. But my daughter has like 8 princess dresses upstairs. The heels, the wands, everything. I know yours is
Yes.
too. They pretty much sleep in them, come to every family function wearing some kind of princess something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that's like a term of endearment that they can relate to and that makes them smile because that's what they idolize and that's what they're, you know, if dad looks at me and calls me that, then I am a princess, you know? So you're empowering your youth. I'm not just going to like...
But it's also, it's empowering her. It's empowering her femininity.
Now, if
right?
she
'Cause
showed an interest to be...
You call a young girl a princess because it's about her femininity.
Right. But if you have a smart little tomboy or something, obviously you're not going to be calling him princess, you know? Like if they show an interest in like dirts and animals and like, oh, you're going to be my little veterinarian. Like, okay, that makes more sense.
Right, but even that,
still
but
say
it's
princess, but
yeah, but she's like
it's about
the
their
way
interest.
the way she's like phrasing it. It's like, do you want me to, instead of say, oh, like what princess, what do you need?
You
It's
swap
like,
it out.
oh, my little
Scientist.
doctor, what do you need? Like it is like I don't even like her
But
point doesn't even make any sense.
that point would make sense if she was wearing a doctor's outfit, walking around pretending to fix everything, teddy bears and all that. Oh, my little doctor. But the way she's making it sound is more like you're trying to like inspire them to be something. I'm like, no, this isn't an Asian household where like you're going to be doctor. That's it. Like how's my little doctor today? It's like, dad, I just want to play basketball. You know, it's not, you know, jokes aside, like that's more brainwashing than anything. Let them figure it out. Princess is just a term of endearment. And if they don't have any interest in princess, then obviously they're gonna be like, dad, stop calling me princess. I don't like that.
Yeah.
They'll make up their own mind.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this lady's point is. I kind of want to skip her.
Yeah.
Father called her princess yesterday, and I had to lecture him again.
Her father. Oh
We do
God.
not use that term in this house. Even my own sisters have called her princess, and I will tell
So
them
you're just the
don't
crazy one
call
in the
her
family?
that. Maybe I come across as very controlling, but I think it's
You
very harmful
don't
word,
say.
And she shouldn't look
I
up
think
to
it's because her
that
hair is
term.
pulled back so tight.
Trying this again.
Oh my God.
Is that a raccoon?
I don't know what it is, but I have
Straight
no,
out of an anime.
I have no words for that other lady. Like her father, I had to lecture him. I can't believe this woman was ever married and like birthed a
She's
child.
probably divorced.
Oh, absolutely, she's divorced.
He probably took the train. He probably went to the train station himself.
He should get a one way ticket to the train station. Oh God, let's see what this is.
Again, because I keep running out of time and fucking up. I keep forgetting I can't say certain words on here, so let's try this. Mostly I feel feminine or non-binary. Today I'm feeling really femme and cat-like as well.
Meow.
But I also feel masculine, mostly boyish.
At the same
I don't
time,
ever really want a woohoo. I'm proud to have a hoo-ha. But I also, sometimes want to take these guys off. But other times I'm happy to have them. I love to play with them. I love them. Other days I want to tape them down. I'm running out of time. But yeah, I go through stages of feeling feminine,
stages of
non-binary.
confusion.
This
sometimes
woman
boyish.
is so incredibly mentally disturbed. Like when you hear those words coming out of her mouth, I mean, I'm sorry, if you're a rational person, all I can hear is this woman needs a lot of help.
Right, but I mean, there's a lot of red flags there. Like even in the beginning, like, oh, I'm not supposed to be saying these words. You hold the power in your hand to edit that clip. Start over. You talked about it, but left it in there because it's more about that attention. Like, ooh, I'm not supposed to do this, or like, ooh,
Well, yeah.
it's all about attention seeking. Like,
It's just, I see that. I'm like, this woman is so disturbed mentally, right? And she's worried about running out of time. I mean, I don't know, maybe I don't know what she's running out of time for. I don't know what she means by that, but like, she's contemplating cutting off her healthy breasts, right? Because of the twisted way that she sees herself.
But then the next day she likes them. She wants them to bounce around and she wants to play with them.
Yeah. And so it's like, what,
So that's in a way, is like almost like you're having thoughts of body mutilation. Like that used to be a term that people would like use when they had a mental, disorder. Like some days they, they didn't like the way they looked and they would like hurt themselves or like, You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
now it's because it's part of a different movement. It's like, oh, you know, you're so brave. You're like, we're all fluid, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just it's rough. It's rough. I guess for that girl, I feel very sorry for her.
I mean,
because she's very
obviously she's
very
going through
disturbed.
something. She's very confused.
She was getting emotional when she was talking at the end, so she's very emotionally.
I see the
disturbed.
pain behind the eyes. I mean, you have to look really hard to squint through that makeup because I thought she was auditioning for the next Kiss concert or something. But
or Cats too.
I just thought of the Taylor Swift, James, what's his name? James Corden, like the Cats movie that they did.
It's horrifying.
I didn't watch it.
I just saw the trailers.
That's
It
all
looked
you need to see.
horrifying.
But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, but all I have to say, it is a good representation of James Corden because he is just a fat pussy cat.
Hey, I saw something the other day that it's not a slur or like an insult to a woman's bodily part. It's short for a longer word that means lacking courage or whatever. It's like pusillanimous or something like that. That's where the term came from. Don't be because they shortened it. And there's actually look in the Webster Dictionary that it was like, you know, a person lacking courage or strength or bravery. So take
There's your
you know.
vocabulary lesson for the day.
Again, too much TikTok.
Blue hair.
Added bug to my list of pronouns.
Oh my god.
She say bug,
Yeah.
like BUG.
Yeah.
If she feels like a bug, she should with that hair. She should be the one playing the new Blue Beetle role. Have you seen the trailers for Blue Beetle?
What is that?
It's another Marvel movie.
Here's
okay.
a very quick tutorial on how to use bugs
I think it's
pronouns
DCA actually.
in sentences. Okay, let's go. I'm meeting up with my friend Moth later. Bug just dyed Bug's hair, and it's this super cool green color right now.
So the name of
We're
her
gonna
name's
go to
Moth
Bug's
too.
house and play some video games. And then I think Bug said that Bug wanted to go to the store by Bug's self. So I'm gonna head out after that, and then maybe we'll get to hang out another time. I love hanging out with Moth. Bug is a super cool friend, and I'm so glad that Bug hangs out with me. So yeah, if you guys have any questions,
She's acting. Oh, you know what's funny? She acts like she didn't rehearse that whole
and I'm
like
Whole bit.
litany.
to answer
She
questions.
absolutely rehearsed that. Like she's like, oh, I don't know.
But she
I
was
don't
still
know.
confusing herself by it.
Oh,
She
well,
looked like
because-
she was even getting confused. But Bugs did the gas station.
Well, of course, because it makes no sense. But like, clearly, she had already. And that's. But okay, and really, this isn't like just her thing. It's
Tell me how you
It's
really
TikTok in general. Like these people try to make it seem like it's authentic moments. It's not. It's all fake.
every duet
everything.
you have to click on and like trim down. It's
Oh well,
not,
well, yeah, that too. But it's like everything, right? Everything is fake,
it's all for their viewer.
right? But again, the problem
This is all fake right now. This is a green screen.
It's not a
like-
green screen. It's a green wall, right? Even better. But
no,
it's just like but the issue is then this girl again. It's rehearsed. I don't even know if she's serious. But the problem is a 14-year-old, 13-year-old young boy or girl doesn't know the difference, and so they take that crap literally, and then they kind of run with it
right.
because they're 13-year-olds and they're dumb. I can't.
All teenagers are dumb. But
Well,
we all
yes.
went through it. Like I had my boneheaded moments, like a lot. But we all get through it. Hopefully with some strong,
I have no words.
yeah.
It doesn't just affect women. Two-spirited,
Period
trans
poverty.
men, non-binary people, and genderqueer people can all have periods. And arguably, period poverty may be higher in these populations. Here's why. You ever seen
She say period poverty.
She did.
a tampon dispenser or a box of free tampons in a men's bathroom?
Well,
What about a period
no,
aisle
because
not labeled
men
feminine
don't need
hygiene or pink
tampons.
boxes all around it? Periods can be a really tough and dangerous time for people that aren't cisgender women. So if you're donating period products or putting them out in your workplace or school, make sure they're in all bathrooms. Or at least that all people have access to these products. Because blood has no gender, baby.
Right, but people do.
This is just your friend.
Where Christian, I may not be the smartest man, but help me out here. Where am I going to put that?
Well, I mean, To be honest, if you're a man, there's only one place to put it, but I don't think you want to put it there. It's supposed to be an exit only.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Hey, it's reminds me back of that Amanda Bynes movie from like the early 2000s. She's the Man or whatever. Whenever she gets caught, the first trans movie or whatever. Who was his name? That was Magic Mike, wasn't it? In the movie.
Is it Channing Tatum? No, it was the other guy. He was always the heartthrob throughout all the 2000s.
Was he?
I can't remember his name. I could see his face. I have no idea what his name is.
Okay. Oh, I felt like I was close enough. But my point is, he sees in her bag that she's got a tampon, and he's like, she's like, that's, you get a really bad nosebleed.
Yeah.
And he's like,
and then which is a funny joke. But you know what's actually funny about that? Because you kind of made the little joke. It's like the first trans movie. Not really, because at the end of it, she's trying to get closer to this guy, and she like reveals that she's a woman because she's a woman, right? And like they end up together, whatever.
But he's hurt at first because obviously that hurts people. So you gotta let those people know up front.
Yeah.
In any relationship, I've seen a lot of them where like, I'm scared to tell him. Maybe till after, wait till later. It's like you went through a whole date. Maybe I'll kiss. Tell him.
I saw one too.
Like,
it was like it looked like they were like Texas Roadhouse or something, and it was like
I'm so nervous for him to find out.
And I'm like, what do I do? It's like,
you best hope you don't get murdered later. Like,
yeah, or punched in the face because they're gonna be like, you're a dude. Boom.
Yeah, this isn't a movie. This isn't a rom-com. Like,
yeah, it was. This TikTok was playing, and this one I saw, it was playing like the song 5 More Minutes by Scotty McCreery, which is like, oh man, this is really weird.
Reminder that you are not blessed, you are privileged. Not hashtag blessed, hashtag privileged. So when you post pictures of your beautiful vacation or your healthy children or your lovely home and you write hashtag blessed, you are offensive because you were not chosen as one of God's favorites. You were given.
Mind you, she's recording this in her nice, looks like a newish car with the AC going, as I hear. She's got some nice glasses. Her clothes aren't, in threads, and she's got a nice fancy smartphone.
These leftist women always have a lecturing tone with everything. They can't help themselves.
Yeah, they just can't. They're all like Karen deep down. But it's like, so she feels like she's not part of that hashtag blush. She's.
You're right though. I guarantee you, she's upper middle to upper middle class. Does all those things.
Why is it just the white people?
Well, she looks a little more swarthy. She looks like she.
Not. She's talking about like white people.
Yeah.
Like, if you're hashtag blessed and all that.
Well, what's funny about that is like saying hashtag blessed doesn't mean you're. It is also she's like some angry atheist clearly because she doesn't understand.
Obviously that's
like that's not what being.
You're giving thanks for
right. You're saying I'm very blessed to have these things. You can even, I guess you could use it. I'm very privileged to be in this position, but
privileged.
Okay, but it's the same thing. It's like you can
privileged by God. God.
Saying blessed. I mean, if you're genuine about it, is about giving gratitude to a higher being, right, or a higher power, which Christians or Jewish or Muslim as well would say, that they offer that gratitude to God. If you're not, you could say the universe or a flying spaghetti monster, whatever it is. But
the word blessed still works in that situation.
Yeah, so she's just like an angry leftist atheist.
Given opportunities that other people were not, including access to health care, a job, health insurance, and there are many people in this world who are oppressed who do not have access or opportunity to have the things that you have. So you are not some man in the sky's favorite because you are better than others. You are privileged, and that's okay. Just use your privilege in a positive way.
This woman hates her life.
And remember that you are not hashtag blessed.
I am hashtag blessed, though.
This is probably going to piss off a lot of people.
Ooh, I'm ready.
But a relationship between a man and a woman is inherently unequal. And that goes for any relationship where someone is deciding to date their oppressor. Just like all white people have racism brainwashed into them, all males have misogyny brainwashed into them. And any male who claims not to be a misogynist is a misogynist. Because a self-aware man knows that he has it brainwashed into him. And any time that a woman decides to be in a relationship with a man, she's making a sacrifice and a commitment knowing that she's dating her oppressor. Almost all women have sexual trauma and emotional abuse trauma, literally just from society. And she's taking a risk in being
Sexual
with you
trauma
and making
from
a commitment
society?
to help you undo your brainwashing. Now, of course, I'm not saying that people shouldn't date the opposite gender, but a lack of awareness can cause problems.
Okay. You know what's funny? You know what's really funny? Actually, I agree with her on one aspect that, yes, inherently, men and women are not equal. I actually agree with that because you can't be.
Tread lightly.
Right. And here's what I'm saying.
Because women are better. Women.
I'm not saying in value as a human being. Right? That's not what that means. Right? But inherently, right? Because equality means everything is the same. Right? Everything is not the same for men and women. Right? So I get, yeah. So, but to then take it to the next level, right? And this is where leftism just derails everything. To then take it to, well, you're dating your oppressor and you have sexual and emotional trauma from society. What does that even mean? That's such a broad, nothing sandwich of a statement, right? Like society is sexually traumatizing you. Nah, I mean, if you want to talk about the pornographic nature of society, I mean, if that's what you're talking about, I can agree with you there. But like it makes no sense. It's very silly, right? And when women, first and foremost, I don't know how women like that can even date in any sort of serious,
any kind
authentic
of capacity.
Yeah, well, any sort of serious way that's going to lead to something that's meaningful. Because if you inherently see men as just the scum of the earth and evil and oppressive, I mean, how could you have feelings for? I don't understand that.
You're going into it like with this preconceived notion of just like wanting to find something wrong or wanting to pin something on that person so you can say that, aha, or I told you so, like this isn't going to work out. I knew I was right. You're just like every other guy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're going in, like you said, with these very...
With your guard up, like almost like you're...
Well, it's these preconceived notions that are very malicious, right? And it's like, how would... I mean, that girl
you're
is
gonna
not...
end up alone.
I mean...
Like, you're...
Yeah, she's going to be an angry cat lady at 40.
Eventually, I mean, she was kind of an attractive person. Eventually, the looks aren't going to do it for her. And she's going to ultimately be alone.
The wall is coming. And, I mean, she didn't look very old, but it looks like the wall is coming maybe a little bit sooner for her.
Well, my point is, I'm sure she can meet people. They maybe put up with her or humor her. Or they kind of go on a couple dates. But eventually, she's not even going to be able to get that because she's going to be old.
Yes.
Past her prime.
So, don't be like her.
Be better.
Ladies, be better. Wow.
There is absolutely no reason why Hurricane Ida should have done that much damage to Louisiana and Mississippi and along the path that it's going to take. And part of the reason why...
You mean a hurricane?
Oh, my God.
Can we control the weather? All right. Gather the Avengers. Like, send them out there. There's no reason it should have been that bad. I'm curious if she's going to take, like, the racist angle on this one or what.
I mean, do we want to put money on it?
Are you for the racism?
I would put every
Not that
dollar...
you're for racism.
Clip that. Cancel it forever. No, I would put every dollar that I have to my name on her saying, in some form or fashion, hurricane damage is tied to racism.
Man, hurricanes don't hit Florida so bad because it's full of a bunch of white people.
Yeah, and
why does it always hit just
Hispanics? There ain't no black people there, so they're fine.
Yeah, she probably.
It's gonna.
We'll see.
Of course, it's
I mean, unless
racist.
it's infrastructure, like better levees or something. No, but still, a hurricane's a hurricane.
Why is because there is infrastructural and environmental racism.
There it is.
In a lot of minority and low socioeconomic communities. There's no reason that the southern border of Louisiana should still be struggling to figure out what type of infrastructure and technology they can use to prevent...
Pause. It's not that they don't know. They know exactly what they need to do, but the corrupt government, local government of the city of New Orleans, okay, will not spend money on those things. They've gotten all the money in the world. They know exactly what they should do. And they do not do it because they do not care about the people that live there.
Have you ever been to Galveston? It is not like nice. It's pretty impoverished, but they have a seawall.
Well, actually, it's actually a big extreme in Galveston. There's like super wealthy people that have houses
Yeah,
there, and then
there's
like
a big gap.
poverty. Yeah,
But most of those
it's
areas,
really,
like
yeah.
I like Galveston. I like the history, but I mean, Galveston's been wiped out. So what do? They learn from it. They put up a wall, and now they're having to do improvements on the wall and higher parts of the wall. But they're willing to put that infrastructure in. Like, I don't know why Louisiana hasn't. There's things they could do.
Well, it's all the local government, right?
Yeah.
Money is given to do these things. And like you said, why do they not know? They know exactly what they should do, but they don't do it. So the really question is you should ask is, well, why won't they do the proper things?
And you can't say it's a race thing. I mean, go to Galveston. There's a lot of impoverished people. There's a lot of minorities there. It's not, I mean, there's a lot of cracked out white people too. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, this one.
So I don't think that can be your reasoning.
Yeah, if she is a graduate of the University of Notre Dame, they should immediately revoke her bachelor or master's, whatever they gave her.
Minority communities from being destroyed. And on top of that, not just being destroyed, but also having to put in their own resources to rebuild their own community. Like, wake up and smell the flowers, people, okay? There is race embedded into every decision in the United States of America, and the sooner that we realize that, the sooner we can stop people from dying because of things that could have been prevented.
I'm sorry, isn't like New Orleans and all that like right at, if not below sea level in a lot of parts because of levees and everything else?
It's like dramatically under sea level. Like it rains for 5 minutes in New Orleans, and like it's got like a foot of water.
Right. There's nowhere for it to go. You're at the bottom of the cereal bowl. Mm-hmm. And you're hoping the levees don't break. I remember Katrina was worse than I think even Ida was. And levees like broke. There were freaking bodies and like alligators swimming for like a month. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but that mass exodus and the evacuation for Houston, I mean, it even changed Houston's like demographics for a long time. I mean, there's people who never went back. You know,
most didn't because there was nothing left there,
nothing to go back
again,
to.
There's no one to blame but the local government. Like everyone gave President Bush and whatever, but it's a local government that didn't do things. They didn't care, right? They were pocketing this money, using it for corrupt things, right? And you talk about minority community. I'm pretty sure that the mayor of New Orleans has been black for a long time, right? Through the multiple mayors that they've had. Right, most of the city, again,
council members, DAs, all that.
They're all black. Most of the police force black, right? All these kind of things. So it's like you're projecting these things, right? And again, it's the typical CRT, ridiculousness of race is embedded in every decision. Actually, no, it's not, right? Because you'd have to point to actual particular policy and things like that. And if you want to make the unconscious bias crap, well, everyone's unconsciously biased about all kinds of stuff in it. And if it's unconscious, there's literally nothing you can do about it. You're chasing a ghost of a ghost, right? If it's unconscious, there's nothing that anyone can ever do about it. That's ridiculous. It's silly.
Wow.
Pretty good, right?
Should write a book. That was good.
Yeah, I should.
Something that's been bothering me about the fact that Texas restrictive abortion laws are going in effect today is how a lot of American journalists and, commentators are comparing this to the Taliban and Sharia law. And I just want to point it out, if you don't already know this, if you can't already clock it, this is Islamophobia. What is going on with Texas right now has nothing to do with the racist boogeyman that you've conjured up in your mind. And it has everything to do with the fact that right-wing evangelism caused this. That's it. Point blank, period. It has to do with the fact that white people's birth rates are declining. And in a country where whiteness is power, that is a bad thing to them. It has to do with holding on to the systemic power that they've had for so long that they will do anything, including making sure that they harm women and children to keep the status quo.
I'm not sure how this harms children, but what's really funny about this is a couple things. Number one, first she's lecturing because of course anyone that was comparing it to Sharia law was on the left, so she's lecturing other people on the left because they are not left wing enough, right? Is the point she's making, which is funny. But then also, right, talking about white. What's funny is you want to know, right? Most of the time, who are the people that are walking into Planned Parenthood and other abortion clinics to get abortions? Minority women.
Yep.
Right? A baby in New York who's black is more likely to be aborted than actually be born. Right? So you want to talk about, right? I mean, and also since abortion, right? You know, the black population is still around 13%. Does that even make any sense? While Asian and the Hispanic community has continually increased in the United States, right? So we want to talk about like who is actually this is being aimed at. You know, I mean, I don't know, right? Just food for thought, right? But this woman is like, for her to say like this is about protecting whiteness. I mean, I don't know. Last time I checked, you know, it's minority people that are being targeted,
yeah.
right? Especially when you see where abortion clinics are usually located. They're near college campuses and impoverished communities every time, no matter where it is. You know,
That's why this is happening.
The Republican Party built the Taliban army in Afghanistan, and they're currently building the Taliban army in Texas. That's right, the Texas Taliban is terrorizing women in Texas. They're letting them know that if the Taliban rape you and you get pregnant, you have to carry that terrorist baby to term. And if you don't carry that terrorist baby to term, you can be sued $10,000 by the Taliban. And I'm guessing more than one Taliban soldier can sue you. And the Taliban can sue not only the person getting the abortion, the person driving them to the abortion, they can sue the doctor that provides the abortion. Don't let them build a Taliban army in your state. Make sure you vote in every single election, every single one, because the Republican Taliban army is coming.
I have no words. I mean,
it's just the thought process of these people.
Yeah, like first of all, she's like making up this like horrifying like scenario.
Well, even her words that she's trying to use, it's legislatives and, you know, law enforcement, but you're trying to compare that to actual terrorists, actual people who are over there like murdering you if you are openly gay, or if a woman is like, you know, not covering her face, or if they believe, you know, is going against a lot of their strict laws, they'll just behead people and stuff like that's what you're trying to compare.
Hands off, stone you to death, right? And again, she's also wrong, right? For when that went into effect, the mother cannot have
it's the
any
practitioner, isn't it?
Yeah, if someone is aiding, right? If you're taking her to there, you can be legal action be taken against you.
But that's just
but then also the doctor.
Perfect, because that's the thought process of these people. They are so uninformed and yet so eager to go on these platforms to speak out. You know?
Yeah.
Like, educate yourself first. Like, even as like a gun owner, like before I would even want to carry it anywhere, like I'm so worried about carrying it somewhere that I'm not supposed to, that I read up on everything. Because if not, who's liable? I am. I could get, you know, a felony. I could get things taken away or have fines or punishments, jail time, because of my lack of, you know, being informed. So honestly, before you go out and spout these to other people who may be just as, you know, clickbaity and click on the title and take you for, you know, as an expert because you're so passionate about it, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I mean, the Texas Taliban, like, they know you're like obviously comparing it, but to them, they may think that I didn't even know this was a thing. I don't want to get sued 10,000. You know, people take it for face value. You need to just do your own freaking research first, especially before you go out and spew garbage, hot garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I have no words for that woman.
But they're so confident with what they're saying.
Oh yeah, she's so like this is happening and this is what's gonna happen and you got to stop it from happening where you live. It's like there's no talent. Like just again, like the scenario and thought process that she brought up was just so out of this world nuts. I have no words.
No words.
We're just I just now and not only that, I saw today like the Biden administration is going to be suing. I'm not sure at one of the red states because of their not allowing transgender surgeries on minors, right? So the Biden administration is suing that state for doing that.
But
so I mean,
is it the Biden administration that's suing, or is it the federal government?
well, the DOJ.
Okay, I guess that
So,
makes,
but they're the
That's
Biden
all their
is
administration.
yeah. So
yeah, that's crazy. Federal government needs to get out.
it is
States'
everything's
rights
so
first.
everything's so dumb, everything's so crazy. So
Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
I hope you did too. Yeah. So I mean, if you like the reaction videos, I mean, let us know. Again, leave a like. Again, share a show with your friends. You could find us. I mean, we'll probably still put this on Apple. I mean, because you can hear the audio, so we'll probably just still put it on podcast. Why not? You know what? We'll throw it on the podcast too. Why not? You know, because I know we have some. Or actually, one of my friends is a loyal listener. She listens to us every during her commutes to work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's a good friend.
There you go.
Shout out. I'm not gonna
I
say
thought
her
I
name.
was your
I'm not
good
gonna say her
friend.
name.
Anyways.
Well, you're my bestest friend, right?
Lies. He says that for the camera.
yeah, shout out to her. I'm not gonna say her name, but she's awesome. So yeah, we'll throw it on the podcast too. So anyway, hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed our reactions. Again, it was our first time trying this out, so we'll as everything else, we'll tweak it.
And just
we'll iron it out, right? And you'll
time.
just as always, you're taking this journey with us. So anyway, you know where to find us, and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.
Later.